Thank you so much for joining this channel. So we are in day 12C now. I hope those who already visited my channel, gone through few couple of previous days, they know what I am doing right now. And so we already covered day 12, day 12B, and now we are day 12C. So it's like the extension of the day 12 with more attributes, more additional features. Because if I put everything in the day 12, it will be a little bit lengthy, and nobody will be interested to listen or watch the video. So for initial understanding, go through the day 12B how the tooling function works in Agentic AI. Day 12B like uh, enforcement of the tooling, and in 12C intelligent arbitration. When I say intelligent tool arbitration means there are more than one tool function will be used for the Agentic AI. So there will be a choice can be made by the Agentic AI. So that's the advantage in the day 12C. So you know already the Agentic AI agent series we are using in .NET 8 Semantic Kernel. People are learning the LangChain, LangGraph and other things. But those who are from the .NET background, they can use Semantic Kernel. If you understand this logic, that can be applied into the other two tools also, or you can say libraries also. Semantic Kernel is nothing but a library. So multiple AI tools with intelligence section. As I said, we will use more than one AI tool functions. So tool plugin introduced already in the day 12. Just we are recapping. Those who haven't visited the day 12, please visit that. Agent gain deterministic C# tool. Tool uses was optional that time. LLM can use it or you cannot use it. That depends on the LLM. But in day 12, but you know that in case of optional case, LLM may ignore tool metrics, and the hallucination part will introduce, right? Because the LLM, if you give a system prompt with some subtle inputs and there is no tool involved, then LLM mostly handles in its own way based on its trained data. So hallucination will increase and reliability also get reduced. So tool is play a very important role. In day 12 we have introduced as optional. Day 12B we have introduced like a enforcement. So now the same thing what I said in the last slide. Day 12B hybrid structure, because we are slowly moving from local to cloud. Local means Olama, and cloud here we will use Azure Foundry. Tool executed deterministically, and LLM must decide tool uses. Kernel execute that total result. So whenever the result will come from the LLM will think from its own the data as well as the tool information. So that will be more structural reasoning continues. So why hybrid structure? Hybrid means Olama does not fully support, right? We cannot continue Olama to at the advanced level, but we started Olama so that it will be free. You can use at the local machine, but we cannot directly move to the cloud. Those who are already familiar with Olama, they may find difficulty. So you'll know that slowly we are moving. We will decommission Ola into the higher days in the day 15, 13, whatever, and then we'll move finally to the from day 15 to the cloud only. So problem with the force tool uses, in the day 12B, that it may happen that the tool is based on the input or the requirement, the tool doesn't need to be executed, right? Then what is the point in wasting the resources? Because even if you have defined multiple tools, not all the tools are required at the same time, right? So there should be an enforcement, definitely should be there, but there should be a choice also. But in day 12B it is like enforcement, you have to execute. So tool arbitration means agent evaluates available tools, LLM decides which to be executed, and and then his tool will be executed. So 12C is nothing but metrics plugin. So we are introducing, we already introduced metrics plugin in the 12 and 12B, but now we additionally introduce security plugin and complexity plugin. So code metrics, logical complexity, and circuit planning. So as I said, multi-tool, so more than one tool, and the LLM will decide which one to choose, and based on the requirement, it should not be like that. Always all three will be called, but yes, all three might be called, or maybe out of the three, any one or two will be called. That is the tool arbitration. Architectural overview. Users send a request to the agent. Agent send the context to the LLM. LLM then select the 11 tools, and kernel. Kernel means the semantic kernel, which is the library, will execute the on behalf of LLM these selected plugins. LLM choose tools. Kernel auto invoke the plugin. Tool resulted into the LLM, and for final output. Local execution. Metrics inject into the prompt, LLM generates. So still we have the environment setting. Either you can go for Olama or cloud. Since the cloud, finally we will start cloud demo from the day 15. So now we have introduced the cloud, but we will show into the cloud mode off, and we will show the code to the cloud, but we will execute the Olama. So improve efficiency. There is no need to execute all the tools at the same time if not required. So you can reduce the wastage of resources. More aligned with the enterprise AI system. So day 12B is the final that tools plugin we have introduced. 12B we introduce strict function calling, and in 12C we introduce the tool arbitration that we generally do. So intelligent tool arbitration already discussed. More than one tool, LLM can decide. Semantic kernel as a library will execute that. So that's the whole process. So we have a playlist. You can go to the playlist. You will get all the day one to day 12 in the same playlist. And technology stack Olama, OpenAI, Azure. It is introduced in the code format, but not able we are executing. We will do it in the day 15. Semantic kernel is there, which is nothing but equivalent to LangChain, LangGraph, and auto crew AI kind of thing library. And .NET 8 is our .NET framework. So recap 12B, that 12B we have enforced the tooling, but there is no intelligent choice being given, okay, from the day 12B forced to run. So this is like, you can say, a governance model being introduced. So problem statement remains same. If there are many tools, do you want to execute all? Do you want to execute one? So somehow you need, right, intelligent choice. So that's the call intelligent tool arbitration. So what tool arbitration? As I said, we have introduced code metrics, logical, and the security. So these are the and test case. So there are so many, but in the code we will show only the three. So more than one, either analyzer or estimator will be there. Running every tool for each task is high latency. So we need some choice. If we go with the 12B, we have to execute all. But if we go with the 12C, we have a choice which one to execute. So example scenario that we will demo it, that review the code for security issues, metrics, tool complexity, security scanner. So if you're looking for security, then the remaining should be skipped off. Architectural overview. With a request send, code review agent will be triggered. ALM evaluates the available tool, which tool to be executed or need to be run based on the code request. ALM choose the relevant tool. Kernel execute the plugin and result return to the LLM. LLM produce structural analysis. So same thing we are showing final code review LLM decide tools. It will be a little bit shorter. Tool registry execute. Tool registry means there are multiple tools, right? We are getting a registry kind of thing, and agent context returned. Three plugins we are introducing: metrics plugin that will check line count and everything, complexity plugin that will check number of branching, looping, conditions, those things, complexity, code complexity. Metrics is the line count, and security is nothing but hard coded or any API key, any password, that things will be detected. So LLM receives the instructions. Suppose LLM receives the instruction from the tools, like you have access to this count line, estimate, and everything. The prompt this enable model to reason about the tool relevance. Same thing we repeated. You can see code execution flow, how the code will work. Local we have all discussed in the PPT also. Finally, advantages: efficient tool uses, reduce computational overhead, faster agent execution, more relevant analysis. So this is the purpose for which we are doing this. Project architecture we are taking. See, there are three plugins. Earlier it is only one in the day 12, day 12B. Now we have three plugins. LLM will choose one of the plugin from here, and based on that, semantic kernel will actually execute the tool. The tool output will come, and then LLM will act as a brain and work on based on the plugins information as well as our system prompt, and the final output will be delivered. So that is the whole purpose. The remaining things as it is same in the day 12, day 12B. Only the plugin has been introduced and selection of choice. So this is clear. Let's go to the demo. The agent that we have shown in the PDF, we have a code review agent, context, app config. Since I already mentioned that we are introducing the cloud also with the local hybrid model, we already introduced environment, local and cloud. Tool decision, right? So we are working with the metrics, complexity, and security. So decision will be made by the LLM, okay, which one to choose while executing the particular tool function. And this is our input, which needs to be verified based on the complexity or the lines of code or the security. Kernel factory already remembered that we are either connecting to the cloud. So this is we are not using right now, but this is the way we will connect to the cloud, but we are using the Olama. And also the kernel will actually execute the tool, so kernel need a registration for the particular whichever plugins we are using. So these code are very common. There is nothing rocket science, all is same. Kernel factory is same. Order service your input file. Tool register you have introduced to register all the new tools or everything. This is a simple code, but just understand the concept. You can modify it to the next level in the later point of time, but ultimately the concept is the tool will register will contain, it means you are maintaining a register. So the code will be called similarly from the program.cs. The code review agent will be called code review agent 1. It will initialize the registry. Registry is nothing but all the functions. So all this is initialized, and the file also read order service. This is the code. The code will be sent to the execute async. So now it will check the cloud or not. So we are not using it, but I will show the code, but we will not execute. We will execute the fallback. Fallback means when the cloud is not available. So let's understand what is in the cloud. So there are so many ways I have tried, but I'm just putting a simple one. Then you can upgrade it at the URL level. So decide tools, as I mentioned, right? We are using tool arbitration. Decide tool will be called based on the input, and then the run tools. Decide tool, what decide tool? So decide tool have this registry. It will pick up all the tools. Then prompt, they are giving all the tool details. Then we are asking which one you want to make it true or false. Just like you mentioned in the day 9, we have a routing decision LLM. The same thing for the tooling decision. So once this information come for the tooling, then finally the run tool will call. What is run tool? Whichever is active true, based on is true or true, whichever is true, and that will be part of the summary builder code. And how it will be executed? So when you call the execute tool, it will go inside and check. And individually, if you go to the code matrix, this is code matrix, this is complexity, it will check if for how many y is there, and security plugin, if there is any password or API key, you can use it. Okay, so let's try to execute. So there is no such password kind of thing here. So this code should be executed for the complexity and the matrix. However, I cannot give you the guarantee because sometimes Solama return the true for security also. But when you go with the cloud, you will get much more reliable output. But you understand what is the logic. So cloud is off. We'll go to the Olama. So Olama will first take the decision. This code can be improved a lot, but we are trying to put the basic concept like what is tool arbitration. Now we are asking the to the LLM. If you see the order service code, it should call for the logical complexity and the code metric. It should not go for security, but we cannot give you the guarantee. Sometimes security also comes true. But when you Azure Cloud Foundry, the things will be more clearer. Ulama, I don't know the performance, but yes, I expect that the security should be false over here because there is no password or API keys, nothing is mentioned over there. But you can see that our mode is local, running in the local attribute mode. That means Olama. Thankfully, you can see, not thankfully, I think the user security has came false, user matrix false, but I think it should be true. But your complexity came true. So our expectation is first two actually should be true because when you are writing a code block, there should be a number of lines, right, and complexity also. But here it is only focusing on the number of lines. However, if you see the our logic, we mention matrix only for if the file is large. Complexity only if the loop or condition is there. We have a if condition, right, in the order service. I think that's the reason it understood the based on the system prompt. Right, gone. So based on the system prompt, it is working. So logically, we can say that file is not large, right? So that's the reason user matrix is false. Use complexity is true. Security is false, right? You can improve the prompt and check how it is working, but overall idea is this, that you will pass the code and you will ask the LLM to choose which one you want to execute, and then once the decision came from the LLM, then only the semantic kernel or the library will act upon. Now run the tools. So since the matrix also came, So if you see, it will not go into the matrix, small file. Complexity will go inside. Security, it will not go because there is no security concept. Finally, the tool used, only one, complexity, and the length, capacity, whatever is mentioned over here, right? So final see what is the output. So complexity score has been given one, tool used, complexity. So even though we have used three tools, complexity, matrix, and the security, it has picked up the complexity. So that's the difference between the 12B and 12C, where a tool arbitration is there, my selection is there, which is not available in the 12B. All will be executed, and in day 12 we have taken only one. So I hope you understand the importance of the tool, how to choose the right tool by the LLM, how we can help the LLM to choose the right tool using our system prompt. So hope you this is understandable, and if you have any question you can ask me in the chat also. We'll try to resolve it, and best of luck. Again we will meet in another day.